Forget New Year, New You. This season is about slowing down, locking the doors, and cozying up at home with the one you really want to do nothing with. Your dog. After the holiday chaos, those quiet nights with a blanket, a podcast, and your pup feel like the reset you actually need. Ollie helps make those moments easier with fresh protein-packed meals made from real human-grade ingredients, so your dog can enjoy some quality comfort food too. Choose from 5 recipes and get a personalized plan for your dog's needs. Meals arrive perfectly proportioned with a scoop and storage container, so serving is fast and mess-free. And with Ollie's in-app on-demand health screenings, supporting your dog is easy, ensuring more cuddles for many years to come. Visit ollie.com/truecrime and use code TRUECRIME for 60% off your first box.
I was asking, all you had to do to shoot and kill someone was take the safety off and pull the trigger.
No, take the safety off and then push the action bar lock up.
And you did both those things in order to kill Mr. Arbery.
When he was on top of me, I disengaged the safety, pulled the trigger, yes, ma'am.
Travis McMichael took the stand on November 18th, 2021. He calmly told the jury his version of events from the night of February 23rd, 2020. In part 1, I went over what happened to 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery as he was running through the Satilla Shores neighborhood just outside Brunswick, Georgia. I also went over what I thought were the most important parts of the prosecution's case against the 3 murder defendants, Gregory and his son, Travis McMichael, and William Bryan. If you haven't listened to part 1, please do that before listening to part 2. Today, we're going to get into the defense's case and the conclusion.
It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy on many, many levels.
This is Jillian, and in partnership with Law and Crime, you are listening to Court Junkie, episode 187, part 2. Kevin Goff, the attorney for William Bryan, played footage of his client working on his front porch on February 23, 2020. Goff told the jury during his opening statements that Bryan was just minding his own business, listening to music, when Ahmaud ran by.
Mr. Arbery is the one who's coming up the street. Mr. Bryan's listening to music and obviously oblivious to what's going on that morning. Mr. Bryan has the opportunity before Mr. Arbery has the opportunity before Mr. Bryan even understands what's going on to say and speak out, help, call 911. There's crazy people after me. That doesn't happen. What Mr. Bryan sees from his front porch is an encounter that's, I believe, caught on the other Night Owl video. The evidence would suggest that Mr. Bryan hasn't assumed the worst about anyone, that Mr. Arbery, for whatever reason, has assumed the worst about Mr. Bryan. Because if he's in distress, if he, in fact, is feeling threatened, he has the opportunity to reach out to Mr. Bryan. The evidence would suggest, and you saw the drone thing yesterday, which for all its limitations shows you it's a fairly big neighborhood. There's a lot of houses on this Sunday afternoon. There's no evidence that Mr. Arbery ever reached out to help, either to Mr. Bryan or anyone else in that neighborhood. But from Mr. Bryan's perspective, when he sees Mr. Arbery come by and he sees this truck, and I believe the truck is visible in this video, he's responding to what he's seeing. And what he's seeing is someone who's not asking for assistance and not asking for help.
He said the evidence shows that Bryan had never seen Ahmaud before.
And intuitively, the evidence would suggest Mr. Bryan knows the difference between running to something and running from something. But in this case, there's really no mystery. But when Arbery passes Mr. Bryan's house, with all due respect, we know why. And I think that we can discern that from the evidence.
He told the jury that Bryan didn't then run into his garage and house. He calmly walked and retrieved his cell phone and keys. He noted that there was a hammer on Bryan's front porch and a rifle inside of his house, both of which he left behind. He didn't grab a weapon, he said. And he asked where the physical evidence is of Brian driving aggressively.
Where are the tire tracks, the brake marks, or the skid marks? For all the times that Mr. Bryan has supposedly stopped short or changed direction without destroying any landscaping or mailboxes, where is the evidence on the roadway itself of any aggressive driving? Now, there's been testimony. Mr. Bryan's never denied that he attempted to block the path of travel of Mr. Arbery. That's never been denied. You've heard Mr. Bryan acknowledge that on February 23rd on the side of the road, down at the police station, later with the GBI. But the manner in which that's done, where is the evidence that that's done in an aggressive manner?
He said he was expecting Travis McMichael to testify, and that a lot of that conversation doesn't involve William Bryan.
There's no evidence that Mr. Bryan was present on February 11th during previous encounters between Mr. Arbery and other defendants in this case. There's certainly no evidence that he's ever spoken to Larry English, although he's told the police he's on this Exit 29 Facebook page, which does apparently cover these matters. But we want you to focus, from Mr. Bryan's perspective, not on all this stuff going on down at 220 Satilla. We want you to focus on what Travis McMichael is going to tell you about Roddy Bryan.
He told the jury that Bryan didn't really know Travis or know what was going on. He said Travis saw Ahmaud acting aggressively and trying to get into Bryan's vehicle. He said that context is important to understand what Bryan was trying to do and what he thought. When Ahmaud was trying to get into the truck, he said it scared Bryan. He reminded the jury that the key piece of evidence in the case is the now famous video.
But the evidence in that video is consistent with what, from the perspective of Roddy Bryan, is not conspiracy. It's chaos.
He said there's no evidence that Bryan attempted to conceal or minimize his involvement. His actions were not called into question by any police officers who spoke with him. Bryan was unaware he ever needed to justify his actions or defend himself. He had no intentions of striking or injuring Ahmaud, he said. And he said Bryan is the only reason they have video evidence. He's the one who showed the police the video.
It was Mr. Bryan who produced not just the video, because if he was trying to minimize his involvement in this case, that cell phone could have wound up in the marsh long before anybody even realized it mattered. That didn't happen. The evidence is it's Mr. Bryan who alerts everyone to its presence.
William Bryan's attorneys didn't call any witnesses, but Travis McMichael's did. They immediately called Travis, the man who shot and killed Ahmaud Arbery, to the stand.
Travis.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to testify?
I do.
Why?
I want to give my side of the story. I want to explain what happened and to be able to say what happened from the way I see it.
Travis described the Satilla Shores neighborhood as friendly. He said there was rarely crime there at first, but then it started building up. He heard about car break-ins, suspicious persons, thefts, little stuff like that, but he said it was continuous. So much so that it was usually a topic of conversation, and people started putting cameras on their houses. He was asked by his attorney if he has ever had law enforcement training, and he said yes. He took classes while in the United States Coast Guard, and then was involved in law enforcement duties there, where he had arrest powers. He was active from March 2007 through July 2016. He told the court that he was taught about due process and probable cause, which he said was defined to them as the level of suspicion by a reasonable and prudent person given the overall circumstances to believe a crime has been committed. He said he also had training in use of force, including using a firearm to de-escalate a situation. He said the first time he had heard about something being stolen from the open construction site, it was from his mother, who had read about it on Facebook. She told him equipment from Larry English's boat had been stolen. He said he met Larry English once, but didn't know him. It was his understanding that Larry was living in a camper at the site on the weekends. On January 1st, 2020, he said a pistol was stolen out of his truck. He called the police and made a report on it. He said he was concerned because he didn't know who took it and what they were planning on using it for. On February 11th, 2020, about a week or so prior to Ahmaud's death, he said he left his house, and when he was driving back, he saw someone running from the construction house into the yard. He said the man was lurking in the shadows, obviously not wanting to be detected. He said he backed his vehicle up and tried shining his lights on him. He then got out of his vehicle, and he saw the man coming towards him.
All right, stop. Why are you getting out of the vehicle?
To see what he's doing, to ask him what he's doing, maybe run him off.
Okay.
I haven't seen him before.
Okay. Did he wave at you?
No, he didn't.
Did he try to talk to you?
No, he didn't.
That's what I was thinking. Dog or anything like that? Okay, so what happened? You step out?
I step out to ask him, to see what's going on, to get an idea what's happening. As he comes out of the shadows from behind that portalet, he comes directly to me. I'm out of the door, and he comes out and he pulls up his shirt and goes to reach in his pocket or waistband area, going for his pocket. I thought it was pocket at first, but later on it didn't make sense. Because if you're going to reach for your pocket, you would go for the pocket that's on whichever side you're on.
Okay.
He reaches like this.
So what happened at that moment?
It freaked me out. So once I realized what's going on, that he is doing this, and I'm under assumption that he's armed, I jump back in the vehicle. He turns around and runs into the house.
He said he went home and told his dad. He called the police, too. He said the police never caught the person he encountered, but Officer Rash showed him the surveillance video of the man going into the construction site.
Was there anything about the video that made you feel anything whatsoever?
Yeah, so having that experience where I just said that, with him acting like he was drawing the weapon and then running into the house, and then seeing the video that he's walking around so nonchalant in that house, kind of, it startled me a little bit that having that just happen, just catching him creeping through that front yard and obviously trying to avoid detection, and then doing what he did there, and then going into the house and then walking around in there like it's no big deal was alarming.
Alarming why?
Because I wouldn't think anyone acting normal would do that, and somebody that's willing to act like they have a gun or act like that they will harm you to prevent you from asking them or doing anything there, and then go in and just acting all normal and nonchalant and never catching the guy, knowing what he's doing, it just sets off the alarms for me.
He said he thought Ahmaud was breaking in and stealing stuff from the property. He told the court that he and some other neighbors had conversations about it after that, just asking if anyone had seen the man again or heard anything more about it, things like that. On February 23rd, he said he was in his living room, trying to get his son to take a nap. His mom and sister were there too. His dad came in through the back door and was in an almost frantic state. He had had a stroke recently and rarely moved that quickly.
Yeah, he said, Travis, the guy that has been breaking in down the road just ran by the house. Something's happened.
The guy?
The guy.
Did you know who he meant by the guy?
I was under assumption that it was the same individual that I saw on the 11th.
Okay.
Because he was down there as well. Saw the same video.
Because who was down there as well?
My father was down there as well on the 11th and saw the same video and talked to Officer Rash with me as well. So I was under the assumption that it was the same guy from the 11th as who he's speaking of that just ran by.
All right. So he comes in. The guy who's been breaking in down the street is back.
Yes.
Okay. Then what?
Yes. So he ran off. I think he told me to grab my gun.
Okay.
He said something's happening. Grab your gun. So I went to my room, which is the door is to the living room that I was in, and the first firearm that I had that was easily accessible because I had my son that week My pistols were in the safe and everything. Was my shotgun. I just cleaned it, or I had it out for something. So I grabbed the shotgun.
Okay.
And walked out. Went out through the kitchen door to the driveway where my truck was.
He went outside and saw his neighbor, Matt Albenzi, standing there and pointing down the road, down Satilla Drive towards Burford Road.
What did you think when you saw that?
At that moment, having Dad saying the guy that just ran by the house, the guy that been breaking into the house down the road, just ran by the house. I came out, didn't see him, and then saw Matt Albenzi, who was on scene on February 11th, who also saw the video and has been seen videos as we've talked about, sure, pointing down the road. I thought it was reasonable that, okay, there's something to this. This guy may have just ran by. Matt may have just seen him, either caught him breaking in, stealing something, or the guy that owns the property that stays in the camper might be on property and just startled him, or God forbid, maybe there may have been an altercation or something happened.
He said he had a car seat in his truck at the time, and his dad got in and sat on top of it. While his dad was fidgeting with the car seat, Travis said he started driving towards Burford Road. He said he was trying to figure out what was going on and who it was who had run by. He said he asked his dad if he had called the cops, and his dad said yes, so he assumed he had called. Minutes later, he said he realized his dad had not. He thinks his dad misunderstood the question. As soon as they turned onto Burford, he saw Ahmaud running down the road. He pulled up next to him.
When I first see him, I'm trying to see if I recognize him.
Okay.
And he's running. He's got long strides. He's athletic. He's athletic. He was in great shape. He was in long strides. I recognized that run, but
Okay. So what did you do next?
So I continued to drive up to him. As we're getting closer, I recognized his haircut.
Where would you say you are on Burford when you get close to him?
I was 2 houses down.
Okay.
It was the first 150 feet, I would say.
All right. Now, how fast would you say you're going?
At that point, I was probably riding the brake.
Okay. Are you honking?
No.
Are you hanging out the window yelling?
Nope.
All right. Do you eventually pull up next to him?
I do.
Do you hit him with your truck as you pull up next to him?
I do not.
Where are you when you pull up next to him?
I got closer to him. I was center line of the road.
Okay.
And he was 2 feet off the edge of the road on the road, but he was 2-3 feet off from the edge.
As he approached him, he said he realized this was most likely the guy he had seen on camera. He testified that he was watching the man's hands to make sure he wasn't armed.
I asked him, said, "Hey, what are you doing? What's going on?"
All right, stop. Are you still driving when you say this to him?
Yeah. I'm coasting. I'm staying with him. He's right there at my door.
Okay. Have you angled in front of him to block him?
I'm parallel with him.
Okay. You say, "Hey, go ahead. What are you doing?
What's going on? What are you doing?"
What's the tone of your voice when you say
just like that? Hey, what's going on? I'm trying to, like I said earlier, I'm using leaps. I'm trying to de-escalate. I know that this can be, this could go any way, but I'm trying to find out what's going on. I'm trying to find out why Mr. Albenzi's pointing down the road and he ran down the road. And if this is the same guy, then there could be something to this. Let's find out what's happening.
Okay. So you talk to him. What do you say?
Yeah. So I said, "Hey, stop for a minute. Stop. Please stop." Well, he didn't say anything.
Can I quote you at "stop for a minute"? Stop. Please stop. Did you actually use the word "please"?
I'm sure I did. I'm trying to, like I said, I'm trying to keep this as non-volatile as possible. So I'm not screaming at the guy. I'm just trying to find out what's happening.
He said he noticed the man's demeanor.
At this point, he is still running, but I noticed that he looks very angry. He's
describe that. What do you mean?
Mad. It wasn't what I expected for just coming up and talking to him. his clenched teeth, closed brow. He was mad, which made me think that, all right, something's happened. I mean, why would?
Okay.
It's not what I expected at all.
He said when he asked him again to stop for a second, the man turned and started jogging back the other way, back towards Satilla Drive. He didn't say anything. Travis put the truck in reverse and approached him again.
As I come up to him, I start to ask him, hey, what's going on? What's going on? He turns and runs.
Turns and runs which way?
Back to, we're still in Burford, back to Zellwood.
Back down this way. Okay. All right. Now,
I'm gonna look.
You're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
When you pull up to him the second time and say, hey, what's going on? What do you mean by that question? What's going on?
I wanted to know, main thing, why is the neighbor pointing down the road from the direction where he's at? I mean, it could be nothing but with Dad saying that the guy that ran by, and then coming out, like, what's he talking about, and seeing someone pointing down the road from 220 from where I encountered him a week and a half prior, going into the house that has been burglarized. I have had stuff stolen that he's been in on several times. That, all right, yeah, we need to figure out what's happening.
Okay.
He said he had never met William Bryan before and wasn't aware that he was out on his porch watching at that moment. He said as Ahmaud took off running again, he put the truck in drive and stayed with him, still trying to analyze what was going on.
Did you eventually reach him?
Yeah, I decided to come up to him again, to get up next to him again and try one more time and just tell him, hey, the police are coming.
Are you yelling?
No, I'm not. I'm actually probably softer than I was the first time.
All right.
Just trying to.
You said that you spoke to him now this third time when you get up here further down Burford Road. Does he stop running at any point up here?
Yeah, so after I get up to him again, I say, hey, I just want to talk to you. I want to know what's going on. He finally stops.
Okay.
Great.
I want to talk to you. I want to know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
So we finally stop. I ask what's going on. He never says anything to me. He's still looking at me angry. I'm thinking, man, this guy's, this could be volatile. Let's kind of watch him here. I ask him again, hey, what happened down the road? Why are people pointing down the road? Where are you running from? He didn't say anything, and he's still kind of in the same spot he is. He's not squaring up or anything like that. He's just standing there. And then I said, hey, the police are on the way. As soon as I said the police, he turned and ran straight back down Burford towards Holmes, Satilla.
He said he never showed Ahmaud his gun and never told him that he was going to shoot him. After he told him the police were on the way, he said Ahmaud ran back down the road. At that point, his dad had gotten out of the truck and climbed into the back. He realized his shotgun was now on the floorboard, so he leaned over and put it back on the seat. He then saw the black Chevy pickup, William Bryan's truck. He saw Ahmaud go around it and turn again.
Is there anything about his movement with the vehicle that was of interest to you?
Yeah, so I didn't know if this guy was picking Mr. Arbery up or if he was involved with whatever happened down there and he was trying to stop him, or I was scared that thought it was Mr. Arbery. One of my thoughts was I might hear a gunshot here. It's not, what's happening. I was kind of just watching, just what's happening on alert.
Okay.
And I watched that happen, and then from where I was, what it looked like is Arbery got in front of the vehicle and continued down the road.
Down towards
Satilla
and Holmes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What did you do?
Got back in my truck. At that time, my dad is obviously seeing this as well. And he is telling me to go down there, go down there.
As in
drive the truck down to his vehicle to where Mr. Arbery and the vehicle was. I do not.
Why?
I don't know what is going on with this guy, and I don't want to escalate the situation.
He said he eventually decided to catch up with Ahmaud so he could tell the police when they arrived where he was. He drove down Holmes, and about halfway down, he could see Ahmaud in the process of turning down another road. He said he did not see Brian's truck following him. He then saw the black truck coming towards him. Ahmaud was by the driver's side, running alongside it. As they got closer, he said it looked like Ahmaud was grabbing the truck.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it looked like he was trying to get in the door. If he wasn't, the vehicle wasn't behind him. He wasn't behind the vehicle. He was with the vehicle, and he was on the vehicle. There was an open yard right there. This was about where the scene happened.
Okay.
And so everything was open, but he was with the vehicle as it's coming, and they were on the right side, which would be his right side when they're coming.
On the right side of the road?
Yes.
On the correct car side of the road?
Yes.
Okay.
And slowly, and it wasn't a run. It was an idle pace, I guess, for a vehicle. He was at a job. But he was with the vehicle, and they were coming into my lane.
He said he never communicated with William Bryan at all, and he reiterated that he never even knew who he was. He then came to a stop. He was on the left side of the road, about 20 to 30 feet from where the shooting would occur. He said the truck and Ahmaud, as they kept coming towards him, were slowly angling onto his side of the road. Then Ahmaud was in front of the black truck, and he lost sight of them as they passed him. He said he didn't want to escalate the situation, and now he believed the man was trying to get into the black truck.
As they passed you, as Mr. Arbery passed you, did you roll the window down and hang the shotgun out the window?
No.
Did you pull the shotgun and aim it at him?
I did not.
Did you yell at him or say anything to him?
I don't believe I did. No, I did.
They were out of sight at this point. He said he was still under the impression that the police were coming. He decided to park there on the corner, where he could see down multiple streets. He got out of the vehicle and asked his dad where the cops are. His dad told him he didn't have a phone. He then went to reach for his phone, and as soon as he looked down the road, he could see Ahmaud running back towards him.
I yell at him, stop. Stop right there, stop right there. He's continuing. We were in eye contact. He's getting closer. I'm thinking he's not looking left. He's not looking right. It's not and the way he's running, it's not a full sprint. It's not a jog. The best way to describe it is like you got a running back. You're about to throw the pass, and they're staged up. They're kind of on their toes, ready to bolt. Mm-hmm. He was at that moment. He was in that stance, I guess, or in that run.
Okay. So 30 yards. Mm-hmm. You say he's making eye contact?
He is.
With you?
Yes.
You say?
To stop where you're at. Okay. He continues. He gets about where you're at from me at this point. This is a second, 2 seconds.
What do you mean this is 2 seconds?
How long it took from me yelling at him to stop to realizing that he is coming to me. That I need to do something about this.
He said he was next to his truck, standing at the inside of his open driver's side door. He reached in and grabbed his shotgun. Ahmaud then turned around and started running back.
At what point did he turn?
He was about 10 feet from the back of my truck, but my action going into my truck is what made him turn, I believe.
Okay. He turns, then what happens?
Starts running back down till I pull the shotgun out and I start going down there to see what's happening. I said, no, I need to stay where I'm at. My dad's up here in the back of the truck. I know what's going on here. I don't know what's going on down there. And this guy is still irrational. It's still not, something's still not right about this. I'm going to stay right where I'm at.
Okay.
So I put the shotgun right back on the door, pick up the phone, call 911.
As soon as he got on the phone, he could see Ahmaud turn again and start running back towards him.
As he's running towards you at this moment, what are you thinking?
That I'm pretty sure that he is going to attack.
Are there, in your mind at that moment, are there places that Mr. Arbery could run to?
Yes.
Are there locations available to run to or through?
Yes.
Like what?
Yards. There's yards, there's ditch. The ditch that was right there at that scene is shallow. Like when run back to where I saw him with Mr. Bryant's truck, one of the things that kind of threw me off was as they're coming, he wasn't blocked. He could have went into this ditch here and into this open yard. It's a very shallow ditch. It's probably from mound to mound 4 feet wide, but it was maybe 2 feet deep all the way across, and it was dry. You could hop across it.
He was asked about the point in the video where he raises his shotgun.
Why'd you do that?
He was closing in. At this point, I've yelled at him to stop several times. This one again, I've screamed at him, stop, screamed, stop. He is focused in on me, and he's at this gate where he's looking like he's about to run. He has a possibility to get this burst out. And if he gets this burst out at this point when I pulled the shotgun, I wouldn't have time to react if he wanted to get on me or to pull a gun or have a knife or if he wanted to do ill will. At this point, this is when I needed to show him to deter him to do not come at me.
He said he was trained that it takes about 21 feet for someone to react, pull a weapon, and fire it at you. He said Ahmaud saw that he had a weapon and kept charging at him.
Say he sees that you have a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know he sees you have a weapon? What do you do?
I had the weapon out at this point, and I had it down at a position like this. Port arms is what they call it. Okay. And it's blatant that I had this shotgun.
When you raise it at that moment, for the reasons that you did, does it have the effect that you hoped it would?
Yes, it did.
Which was what?
It did. He angled. He no longer went my direction. Okay. As soon as I drew the weapon on him, you could see in the video that he darts to the left and darts to the right and then commits to the right. When he does that, as soon as he darts, I put the weapon back down and move away from my vehicle, make a distance. I'm thinking he's going to go across this yard.
Well, what if he did?
I'm just going to let him keep on going. Let him run on by, like I've done on Burford, like I let him do on Holmes when him and Chevrolet passed.
He said Ahmaud turned and made it to the corner of the road, but then turned again and ran back. Travis was asked what he was thinking then.
That he is after I deter him, or after I point the shotgun at him, when he angles and then he turns and starts making it directly to the truck, I'm thinking, well, he's coming back to the truck again. My father's in the back of the vehicle.
So what? Your dad's in the back of the vehicle. So?
Yeah, so the path he's making, he's going to make contact with the vehicle or going to be around the vehicle. He can jump up, grab dad, or still under impression that he might be armed, that he could run up and shoot.
He went to the front of his vehicle. Ahmaud was right there at the right-hand side quarter panel. He said he turned, and Ahmaud was immediately on him.
He grabs the shotgun, and I believe I was struck on that first instance that we made contact.
What were you thinking at that moment?
I was thinking of my son. It sounds weird, but that was the first thing that hit me.
What did you do?
I shot.
Why?
He had my gun. He struck me. It was obvious that he was. It was obvious that he was attacking me. That if he would have got the shotgun from me, then it was this is a life or death situation, and I'm going to have to stop him from doing this. So I shot.
Did he stop when you shot?
He did not.
He said Ahmaud hit him in the top of his head and kept hitting him while he tried pushing and pulling his gun to gain control.
Did you get it free from his grip?
I don't believe I did. I don't know exactly when or where or if he continued grabbing, but We were together. We were locked up. He was on that shotgun.
You've seen the video we've talked about where you see you're being pushed across. Do you remember that? Do you remember where your bodies were moving?
I know that he was, I didn't know where I was at, but I knew that he was on me. I knew that I was losing this. I knew that if I was getting tripped, if I would have tripped, or if he would have got a lucky strike on my head, or if I would have lost that grip on that shotgun, that I would have been shot, or I'd have been in serious trouble at that point. I knew that he was overpowering me, but I didn't know which direction or what mechanics he was doing to overpower me.
He said he didn't remember how many times he shot the gun.
The first shot, I knew I shot. And then the second shot, I shot again because I was still fighting. He was all over me. He was still all over that shotgun, and he was not relenting. So I shot again to stop him. That third shot, which I thought was second, that final shot, he disengaged. And at that point, he let go. He turned and continued to run down Satilla. And at that point, I was in shock. I turned around. I don't know where I was going. My dad came out, and he was yelling that he's got his hand under him. I turned around. We got over there and pulled his hand out from under him and realized that he was deceased. And I looked up, and the police were right there.
He said after that was a blur. He remembered talking to Detective Nohili and making a statement. He said he struggled to remember what had happened.
What was it like sitting in the room with Detective Nohili, trying to recall the specifics of this event?
I struggled. I was trying to give him as much information as possible. I thought that I did a good job until I've read the statements.
Thought you did a good job at what?
At giving him a clear idea of what happened. Reading the statements now, I was all over the place. And it was under stress. This was less than 2 hours after shooting. I was not in my right mind at that point.
He was asked if he ever coordinated with William Bryan, and he said no. His plan was to stop Ahmaud and hold him until the police came.
Did you leave the house that day with the intention to kill the guy that your dad mentioned to you?
I did not.
On cross-examination, prosecutor Linda Denikoski picked up where Travis's attorney left off, asking him about his intent.
Not once during your direct examination did you state that your intention was to effectuate an arrest of Mr. Arbery until your attorney asked you that leading question. Isn't that right?
Yes.
She brought up a Facebook post from a neighbor who wrote about her purse having been stolen from her car in January 2019. Travis had responded to it.
Do you remember that you posted in response to that?
I do not.
Do you remember that your post was playing with fire on this side of the neighborhood?
Yes.
She asked him if it's true that although Travis talked a lot about crime in the neighborhood, there was only one burglary call in all of 2019, and it turned out to be a false alarm. He said he had heard that there were several, from his mom, from other neighbors, and on Facebook. He admitted they were rumors and that he didn't hear that from the police. Prosecutor Denikoski said there were 4 entering auto complaints in 2019. Travis said he had heard about those, but was unaware that a white male had been accused of at least one of them. He said he only made assumptions about who was committing the crimes on February 11th, 2020, after seeing Ahmaud.
And then you assumed this must be the person responsible for all the crime within Satilla Shores.
I was under assumption that having Mr. Arbery being seen multiple times on the video on 220 Satilla Drive and the stuff stolen out of that house, that he has continued to come back to that house and to be, I guess, as brazen as after I witnessed him go through that yard and what looked to be creeping coming in, and then putting the lights on him, and then him acting like he was armed under the way that he reached for his pants, and then ran into that house, and then walking around afterwards, seeing that and knowing that he saw me, that I saw him, and then he continued to go on, and that he's been there several times, led me to believe that, yes, that these burglaries that I've been hearing about and that I knew about at 220 could have been him.
He admitted that he knew that multiple people had been seen on surveillance going into the construction house, not just Ahmaud. She brought up the video of Ahmaud walking through the construction house on February 11th, 2020. She pointed out that he's wearing a long T-shirt, shorts, and Nike running shoes.
And you heard Larry English testify that he suspected his subcontractors. Yes? That Larry English suspected his subcontractors of having stolen the items off of his boat. You heard him testify to that?
Here, yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you heard him testify that he told that to Officer Rash?
Yes.
And you heard Officer Rash testify that he told that to your father?
Yes.
She asked him about when he first saw Ahmaud running on February 23rd.
All right, so you personally first saw Ahmaud Arbery as he was running ahead of you on Burford.
That's correct.
Okay. And you were driving behind him in the white F-150 pickup truck?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And at that time, when you first saw him, he didn't have a bag, did he?
No, ma'am.
Didn't have a backpack?
He did not.
Wasn't carrying a box?
Was it?
Okay. And you could see his hands as he ran?
Yes.
Right. And you could see that he was wearing the cargo shorts and the T-shirt?
Yes, ma'am.
And you didn't know who he was? I mean, you didn't know him personally?
I didn't know him personally, no, ma'am.
Okay. You didn't know his name?
No, ma'am.
All right. Didn't know anything about him?
Nothing.
He didn't know you?
Not that I'm aware of.
And at this point in time, when you first see him on Burford, he's not reaching into his pockets?
No, ma'am. Not running, no, ma'am.
And he never yelled at you guys?
No, ma'am.
Never threatened you at all?
No, ma'am.
Never brandished any weapons?
Sorry, Your Honor, he's trying to finish his answer.
Yeah, he did not threaten me verbally. No, ma'am.
All right. Didn't brandish any weapons?
No, ma'am.
Never reached for anything, did he?
No.
He just ran?
Yes, he was just running.
She asked if he startled Ahmaud when he pulled up next to him, and he said no.
Are you a mind reader?
I'm not, but I could see his actions, the way that he didn't veer, he didn't run off. I came up to him slowly, just like I would anybody else, and I've never startled anybody doing that before, anybody walking or jogging or running. I've never had anybody become startled on that, so I don't know why it would be.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. How many times have you pulled up on strangers that you don't know next to them with a pickup truck to ask them what they're doing in your neighborhood?
I don't think I have in that situation, but I have pulled up on people that are running behind, coming up behind them. But, I mean, if you could be startled from somebody coming up behind you is one thing or the other. You can tell if somebody is, but I didn't startle him. I didn't come up on him hard or fast or blowing the horn or anything. I just pulled alongside him on my side of the road right at the yellow line, and once he acknowledged me and saw that I was there is when I came a little closer and stayed with him.
Prosecutor Dunikoski wanted to know exactly what he said to Ahmaud.
So he's running, you pull up, he looks at you, and you say to him, what?
I say, hey, what's going on? Hold on a second.
All right. And he didn't say anything back to you?
No, ma'am.
All right. He just kept running?
He stopped and turned and went backwards. That was the first time. That was the one caught on Mr. Roddy's or Mr. Brian's video. was turned out to be the first qualification.
Okay, so hold on. You pull up next to him, he stops, and then he turns and starts running this way. Back down Burford towards Satilla.
Yes.
And then you back up. Is that right?
I did.
So you back up the truck to follow him, and at some point in time, what do you say to him at that point?
I'm asking him, what are you doing? You know, what's going on? What happened down there? Why is there some, you know, I ask him why somebody pointing down the road. As I'm talking, that's when he turns and runs back down Burford.
So now you're asking him, hey, why is somebody pointing down the road? That's what you're asking him?
That's what I was trying to get to ask him why there's people pointing down the road.
She pointed out that he wasn't wearing any kind of police uniform or anything like that, and he agreed.
You could have just stopped, right?
I could have.
You could have just let him run, correct?
I could have, but I also wanted to make sure that everything was okay down the road and see what was happening. I wanted to at least ask him what was happening and see what he would say and go from there.
Despite the fact that you know about the Fifth Amendment, you know that no one has to talk to anyone they don't want to talk to, right?
That's correct.
On direct, Travis had testified that he yelled out to Ahmaud that police were on their way, and that Ahmaud then took off running faster. Prosecutor Dunikoski said that nowhere in his statement to police did he say that.
In those terms, saying it in that verbatim, I did not. But looking at this and how I was still under stress, still under the impact of what happened a couple hours after this, just 2 hours after the shooting, and then seeing how I was talking, under stress, nervous, scared, I know what I was talking about here, and that's what I was talking about. Call the cops, you know. Stop where you're at, call the cops. I'm probably choppy trying to talk to him, being nervous, and saying that I was saying this to Mr. Arbery, and then he takes off running. If you're running, he continued running. He takes off running. I think that's what I was talking about there.
So what were you nervous about while giving this statement?
I just killed a man. I had blood on me still. I was the most traumatic event of my life. I was scared to death. I mean, it was the most traumatic event of my life. I don't know anybody who wouldn't be scared or stressed or terrified or anything. I mean, it was horrible.
I'm talking about giving your statement 2 hours later at a police station. You were nervous because you thought you were going to jail, right?
No. I gave him a statement. I mean, if I would have...
Somebody, you don't think you're going to jail. That's what you're saying.
I was going through an investigation. I was following the investigation.
She pointed out that at least 3 separate times Ahmaud ran away, indicating he did not want to talk to Travis. She said Ahmaud also never pulled out a weapon or said a word to him. And she questioned how Travis said he saw Ahmaud trying to attack William Bryan's truck.
So you want this jury to believe that it's Mr. Arbery who's the aggressor with the black truck, not that the black truck's the one trying to run him off the road to help you.
I didn't see the truck trying to run him off the road. What I saw from down there, what I saw was the vehicle looked to be at a stop, and Mr. Arbery was engaging the vehicle.
She again played the video of the shooting in court. Travis described how Ahmaud kept switching directions and finally was running towards him.
I was thinking that what I would do or anybody else would go across the yard, would run across the yard. Well, as I was going across, I saw that he turned and started directing towards me on the road again, and then turned a third time and then went back to the side of the vehicle. So I was trying to gain distance.
Gain distance. So you're expecting that he should take action to get away from you because you're pointing a shotgun at him.
I was not wanting him to come to charge me, to attack me, which I was assuming was happening. Yes, that's exactly what I was doing.
So him running down this road, being pursued by Mr. Bryan's truck, is him attacking you.
The last time that I saw Mr. Bryan's truck, was when I was at a stop just before where I'm at now, and he was was all over that truck. And they left, and I never saw that truck turn around, and then Mr. Arbery is coming back to me, yelling at him, stop, directing to me. He wasn't going to the left. He wasn't going to the right.
She played another portion of the video and pointed out that Ahmaud wasn't running directly towards Travis.
He runs around there, right?
He did.
Mm-hmm. And comes around that corner, and you have closed the distance yourself on him, haven't you?
I have gone to the front of my truck. I did not go to the passenger side of my truck at that time. I was trying to keep an eye on him to make sure that he didn't try to get in my truck or try to get to my dad or who knows, go into the passenger side or what. I was trying to keep an eye on him, and I would think that he's avoided me once I aimed the shotgun at him. If he sees me in front of the truck, then he will not come back around, which I was thinking was more than likely was going to happen, and then he would continue to go.
She pointed out that Travis could have easily stepped back to his pickup truck and let Ahmaud run away. Travis said he was worried Ahmaud would have attacked.
So you're telling this jury that a man who has spent 5 minutes running away from you, you're now thinking is somehow going to want to continue to engage with you, someone with a shotgun, and your father, a man who's just said, stop or I'll blow your fucking head off, by trying to get in their truck?
That's what it shows, yes, ma'am.
She told him that although he testified on direct that Ahmaud had grabbed his shotgun, he didn't say that to Detective Nohely. He said it happened so fast and that he obviously missed every minute detail when speaking to the police. Prosecutor Denikoski told him there were a number of things he could have done, but didn't.
You could have made sure that you and your dad called the police from your house at 230 Satilla Drive before you ever got in that pickup truck, correct?
I could have, but I was under the impression that he has called the police when we left there.
And you could have just continued to drive behind Mr. Arbery and not even speak to him or confront him at all. Isn't that true?
I could have, yes.
Mm-hmm. And you could have just let him run away when he took off in front of Mr. Bryan's house. From the Night Owl video we saw, you could have just gone, okay, he's running. We'll just, let him go, or just drive behind him really slowly, right?
Could have and did after I realized that he was not going to talk to me and turn around and ran away.
And you could have stayed in your truck over on Holmes Drive, right?
Could have, yes.
And you could have stayed in your truck until he ran by and then driven away to go ahead and follow him, right?
I could have, yes.
The defense called some neighbors to the stand who testified about their knowledge of petty crimes in the area. Prosecutor Larissa Olivier asked one of them if she believed that someone stealing is deserving of the death penalty. The defense objected to the question and then asked for a mistrial. Judge Walmsley admonished Olivier and told the jury to disregard, calling the question inflammatory and irrelevant. In her closing arguments, prosecutor Linda Denikoski said Ahmaud was trapped between two cars who were chasing him, with no weapon to defend himself.
Well, what are they going to tell you? They're going to tell you what Travis said. Oh, he was running toward me. And I could tell he was going to attack me. Is that reasonable? Who brought the shotgun to the party? Who took the shotgun out of the car? Who pointed the shotgun? The guy's running away from them for 5 minutes.
She asked the jury if they've ever heard of the saying, "You can't bring a gun to a knife fight. It's unfair, right?" She called it excessive force.
So first off, Ahmaud had to be using unlawful force against them. Remember the guy running down the street right here? He's using excessive force. He's using unlawful force against them right here, right? Then Travis McMichael had to reasonably believe that he had to defend himself against Mr. Arbery. And they're going to get up here, and the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, they're good. These defense attorneys are good. They're going to get up here, and they're going to make it perfectly, they're going to make this seem like, oh yeah, this is scary, and Travis had to pull a shotgun out on him, they're going to make it seem so reasonable. Put on your critical thinking caps. Use your common sense when they're up here giving their closing arguments.
Travis's attorney, Jason Sheffield, told the jury that this case is about three things: watching, waiting, and believing. He said Travis spent almost a decade of his life learning about duty and responsibility, and that he had received extensive training. He pointed out that Travis had encountered Ahmaud during the chase 4 times, and that if Travis had wanted to kill him, he could have done it during those times. This was not about taking someone's life that day, he said.
This courtroom is sacred. It is our last place for truth. It is where we pull it from the witnesses if we have to, and we present it to you. And we ask that you hold it dear and that you accept your duty to not erode the law as you sit here and think about what the law allows a citizen to do. It is going to take courage. It's going to take courage to set aside what you think and feel, what may be trying to penetrate you from other sources that you have tried to do your best to avoid, and to focus on the bare facts of this case that have been captured on photograph and on video that have been testified to in this courtroom. It will take courage.
Greg's attorney, Laura Hogue, said her client never pulled any trigger and asked how the state could be seeking a conviction for malice murder. She said if a police officer, namely Officer Rash, had been doing a routine patrol in Satilla Shores that afternoon, and he came across the same circumstances as the McMichaels did, he too would believe he had probable cause to arrest Ahmaud for burglary.
There's no doubt he would have put on his sirens and tried to stop Ahmaud Arbery. And there's no doubt, after the events of February 11th, that Officer Rash would have had his gun at the ready and not taken any chances. And I suspect, in your minds, there would be no doubt that Ahmaud Arbery would have known exactly why he was being chased.
She said there was little doubt that Ahmaud knew exactly why the McMichaels were trying to detain him. She said life is complicated and that a beautiful teenager in a crooked baseball cap, referring to the photo of Ahmaud that had been shown to the jury, can go astray. He can deteriorate and lose his way, she said.
And years later, he can end up creeping into a home that is not his own and running away instead of facing the consequences, acting erratically when approached, and making terrible, unexpected, illogical choices.
She said all we can guess about the young man is that his teenage years were full of promise, but his early 20s just led him in the wrong directions. She said the facts presented in this trial bear no resemblance to the story that the state told the jury.
A 25-year-old who met a brutal death after being chased and killed by residents of a neighborhood who wanted nothing more than to murder him for having the audacity to jog in their neighborhood. Not a single piece of evidence that's been presented to you in this entire trial supports such a hateful and gruesome set of circumstances. Turning Ahmaud Arbery into a victim after the choices that he made does not reflect the reality of what brought Ahmaud Arbery to Satilla Shores in his khaki shorts with no socks to cover his long, dirty toenails.
After an audible gasp was heard in the courtroom, she continued. She said it wasn't just the McMichaels' decisions that led to this tragedy. William Bryan's attorney, Kevin Goff, told the jury that the reason we can even have this trial was due to his client.
Roddy Bryan didn't shoot anyone. At the time of the shooting, he was some distance back. He was armed only with his cell phone. Isn't it time, ladies and gentlemen, that we send Roddy Bryan home?
He said Bryan fully cooperated with police, gave many statements, and provided his video and cell phone. He gave the police access to everything, he said.
Ladies and gentlemen, without Roddy Bryan, there is no case. You will have to decide what justice looks like between the McMichaels and Mr. Arbery, between the McMichaels and the Arbery family. But the reason that you can do so, the reason that we can have this trial, is because of Roddy Bryan.
He said Bryan is a quiet man who keeps to himself. Many of his neighbors don't even know who he is. He said Bryan and his fiancée had just purchased their house on Burford. He was fixing it up on his front porch when Ahmaud ran by. He said it was clear that Ahmaud didn't want help from Bryan, that he was running away. He told the jury that Bryan didn't know the McMichaels had guns and didn't know Travis would shoot him.
When did Roddy Bryan know Travis would shoot Mr. Arbery? I would submit to you, he can't know until Mr. Arbery is actually shot. And at that point, what could Roddy Bryan do to stop this tragic shooting? The state has thrown out all kinds of theories. He could have honked his horn. He could have gone to the left. He could have gone to the right. He should have backed up. Well, obviously, if Mr. Bryan saw a shotgun pointing down the street in his direction, he probably would have at least ducked. But he doesn't do that because Roddy Bryan can't see the gun. And when the state tells you that he was hunting Mr. Arbery down, what they're trying to tell you is that he's going down the road towards them when he's going up the road away from them. And when he says he turns around, he brings the video back up. He takes the best video that we have, the only video we have of this shooting.
He said William Bryan put his faith in the Glynn County Police Department and then in the GBI to do the right thing by him. He said his trust was not rewarded, and now he finds himself before the jury. He asked them to return a verdict of not guilty on all counts and to send him home. After a little more than 11 hours of deliberations over 2 days, the jury came back and found all three men guilty of all charges. At sentencing, Judge Walmsley called it a tragedy.
As we all now know, based upon the verdict that was rendered in this court in November, Ahmaud Arbery was murdered. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy on many, many levels. On February 23rd of 2020, almost 2 years ago, a resident of Glynn County, a graduate of Brunswick High, a son, a brother, a young man with dreams, was gunned down in this community. As we understand it, he left his home apparently to go for a run, and he ended up running for his life. He entered the English home at approximately 1:04 p.m. and left that home at about 1:08 on that day. At 1:14, Greg McMichael calls 911 to let them know that there's a black male running down the street. And within moments, Ahmaud Arbery is shot and killed. The three men that are now before this court chased him in a residential neighborhood for at least 5 minutes in pickup trucks, armed with a shotgun and a .357 revolver. The state mentioned this today about the time period, but I do want to put that time period in context. And the only way I could think to do so may be a little theatrical, but I think it's appropriate. I want us all to get a concept of time. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit silently for 1 minute. And that 1 minute represents a fraction of the time that Ahmaud Arbery was running in Satilla Shores.
The court was silent for 1 minute. Judge Walmsley reiterated that Ahmaud had been chased for 5 minutes.
And when I thought about this, I thought from a lot of different angles, and I kept coming back to the terror that must have been in the mind of the young man running through Satilla Shores.
He thanked the jury for their work and then sentenced the defendants. Travis and Greg McMichael were sentenced to life in prison without parole, plus 20 years. William Bryan was also sentenced to life in prison, but will be eligible for parole after 30 years. All three have also been charged with federal hate crimes, and their trial for that is currently ongoing. In the meantime, former District Attorney Jackie Johnson is awaiting trial for violation of oath of public officer and obstruction and hindering a law enforcement officer. According to the indictment, Johnson, quote, showed favor and affection to Greg McMichael during the investigation into the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery, thereby failing to discharge her duties as district attorney. Also, quote, by failing to treat Ahmaud Arbery and his family fairly and with dignity when, after the shooting of Ahmaud Arbery, said accused sought the assistance of Waycross Judicial Circuit District Attorney George E. Barnhill, and, after disqualifying her office, recommended D.A. Barnhill to the Attorney General's office for appointment as the case prosecutor, without disclosing that said accused had previously sought the assistance of D.A. Barnhill on the case. She also knowingly and willfully directed 2 Glynn County police officers not to arrest Travis McMichael, contrary to the laws of said state. It is unknown if additional charges will be coming. And that's all for this episode. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this case. Let me know by joining the conversation on Instagram @CourtJunkie, by tweeting me @CourtJunkiePod, or by emailing me at podcast@CourtJunkie.com. I know that some of you may have some fatigue when I cover these more high-profile cases, and I get it. Thanks for your patience when I do. The truth is, I'm a huge trial watcher, and I would be regardless of whether I was making them into podcasts or not. So whenever I'm personally following a trial, whether it's a high-profile one or a lesser-known one, I try to then turn them into episodes. But having said that, I also love receiving listener suggestions. I made an appeal at the end of my last few episodes for more, and you all were awesome in delivering. I have a lot of work ahead of me. But if you have a case you'd like for me to cover too, please send those over to me at podcast@CourtJunkie.com and put listener suggestion in the subject line. That helps me know more about what you all want to hear. And as always, to hear these episodes without the ads and to hear additional Court Junkie bonus episodes, check out my Patreon options at CourtJunkie.com/support. Thanks again for listening. Until next time.